I was even debating whether or not I should make this video, but I felt that maybe I should put my 2 cents on this game because I have spent 22 plus hours playing this game and I'm at the very end of the game. And I feel like maybe I should talk about it, give you my opinions about it, give you my thoughts about it. And this will be a long video. It's not going to be a short video, but it has to be long because I have to kind of dive into all of these details and kind of dissect this as best as I can, so that way you have better understanding of my subjective opinion and my perspective on the Callisto Protocol. So right off the bat, I'll tell you one thing about Callisto Protocol. The graphics are top-notch. They're amazing. Truly delivers with Unreal Engine 4 and what Unreal Engine 4.27 can really achieve. We're not even talking Unreal Engine 5. Obviously, Unreal Engine 5, it's going to be on a whole different photorealistic realism. But what I have witnessed with Unreal Engine 4.27 here is truly remarkable. And looks great. Graphically, you will not be disappointed on your television, on your beautiful OLED Dolby Vision, HDR. Obviously, this game doesn't support Dolby Vision. It supports HDR, maybe on the Xbox, but I'm only playing this on the PS5, and it looks amazing on PlayStation 5. And that is the interesting thing. This game runs the best on PlayStation 5, and you would have think that Xbox Series X, you would have think that PC with a 4080, 4090, or even 3090 Ti, that this would have run much better, right? But sadly, this game was not optimized properly to run on all those other systems, including, Xbox and the PC. But on the PlayStation 5, it runs amazingly. I've been playing this. If you check my live streams, you're gonna see that I've been spending a lot of time playing this game, and I had maybe a couple of hiccups where the game crashed, but that happens on God of War, that happens on a lot of PlayStation games. It's not a big deal, where you report a bug and then you move on and restart the game. But for the most parts, no issues. Now, this is a 60 FPS, but to be honest with you, it feels a bit sluggish. It feels a bit heavy. Like when I'm moving my controller, it feels like there's a slight of delay, in latency. So to me, 60 FPS would have to be something. Okay, but let me show you a difference. Okay, so this is 60 FPS. Okay, so what you're looking at, this is 60 FPS. Now, let me show you what I think 60 FPS should look like. This is what 60 FPS should look like. It should be like this. Now, I'm not saying that it's not running in 60 FPS. I'm pretty sure it's running in 60 FPS, but I have a feeling that the game is struggling to keep that steady 60 FPS frame rate. It's probably something like 55 to 60, or again, I don't have the equipment, I don't have the software to measure it, but I played a lot of games in my lifetime to know the difference between a steady 60 FPS and then something that's just 55 to 54 frames to maybe 60 on instance on some levels. What I'm trying to say, it is 60 FPS, but it's a glorified 60 FPS. It's not like a true 100% 60 FPS that doesn't drop a frame. That's what I mean by that. I hope that's kind of clarified to you. I know people are gonna write down on the comments, blah 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 blah. How do you know? Well, I don't know. I'm just speculating, okay? And I'm speaking from my own subjective personal experience. So when you are watching this video, keep in mind you're listening to my subjective opinions. You don't have to agree with my opinions. You don't have to kiss my ass and like my opinion. But the reason you're watching this, it's because you want to hear what I have to say. You don't have to, again, agree with it. nor do I have to agree with you, but you're watching this because you want to hear what I have to say. Okay, so let's just be clear on that. Don't bother me on the comment sections asking me these stupid questions, because, guys, I don't answer stupid questions. I only answer questions that I can answer. So let's just leave it at that. And I'm not trying to be, a dick about this. I'm not trying to be an a-hole about this. I'm just simply stating it for the record. So, moving on. Now, if you want to believe that this is 60 FPS, then that's fine. You can believe it, but I know better. I know the difference between 60 FPS and a 55 and 40 FPS, because I played a lot of games. I'm an old geezer, and I played everything from PC, consoles, you name it. All right, I know what 60 steady 60 FPS feels like. Now, it's not a deal breaker. Okay, so let's just kind of move away from that subject for a second. To me, it's not a deal breaker if it's a 55 or 60 and then drops down to 55 and 54 or 40 frames. I could care less, honestly. It's not a big deal to me. The graphics are great. The game actually runs pretty good on the PlayStation 5 and looks pretty good on PlayStation 5. And it runs the best out of all the systems. So if you're looking to buy this game, if you're looking to buy a Callisto, the Callisto Protocol runs the best on a PlayStation 5. That's a fact. As of this recording, as of this December 5th, 2022. Now, let's get to the negative. Like I said, the positive of this game, the positive is the graphics, the sound, the sound, and the atmosphere. And that's what really makes this game be like a technical demo of what the next gen's gonna be in the future. I'm really looking at this game more of like a technical demo as to what's gonna be possible in the future with the Unreal Engine 5 and 5.1 engine. So those are the positives. The positives are graphics looks amazing, the sound, it's amazing, and the atmosphere in the game, it's also very amazing as well. Now let's get to the negative stuff. All right, here's the negative. To me, the story of this game, it's pretty straightforward. All right, so this is a Callisto moon, and it's one of the moons next to the Jupiter, and this moon really exists in our solar system next to the Jupiter, one of Jupiter's moons. So this guy named Jacob Lee, he is a space trucker, and he was delivering a cargo, right? He was delivering a cargo of supplies to a Callisto, or to be exact, to a one of the bases on Callisto. Okay, I don't want to give away too much here. And once they landed, they are approached by this security system, UJC. It's called the UJC, the security system organization, played by Sam Witwer, who is a Captain Ferris, played by Sam Witwer, the actor who also portrayed Deacon St. John in Days Gone. Automatically, you were being arrested, first detained, then arrested, and then they inject something inside your neck to keep a track of you, and they give you a number, and you were being called by the number, right? Prisoner has like 4 numbers on there. I can't remember exact number, I forgot. And basically, you are in the jail. You're in the prison. And you have no clue why you were being arrested. You just wake up in the prison, your head is shaved, and they call you by a number, right? Prisoner number or whatever, And then by that number, you actually wake up and you realize that there's some kind of an outbreak going on in this prison, and everything's all messed up, burning, and you see mutated humans, zombies, look like zombies, monsters, and you're trying to figure out what the hell's going on. So you're trying to escape the prison, and you meet this other guy who helps you try to escape the prison. And while you're escaping the prison, you also meet this woman, Asian woman named Dina. And then you find out that Dina knows a little bit about what was brought on the cargo, the supply that he was bringing. She tells him that she knew what was on that cargo. And then later on, he finds out that on that cargo there was a virus, and this virus was being used and was being extracted by this company called Black Iron Lab. And this Black Iron Lab, they extracted this virus from this prehistoric creature that they dig up on the Callisto moon, and they were trying to use that virus to experiment on the prisoners, because prisoners are perfect guinea pigs to be experimented on, like this poor bastard here, right? So, because no one cares about the prisoners, some of them are on death row and this and that, so no one really cares about them. So they're kind of like perfect guinea pigs to be experimented on. And they find out once they started using that virus, that this virus actually mutates and makes humans stronger. So they were trying to basically create a superhuman. But as you can see, the experiment went haywire. The experiment went sideways. So the story, it's pretty straightforward. And honestly, I expected more from the story. I expected more characters, to have more characters in this game. There's only one character. There's only one character you're gonna be looking at, and it's you, Jacob. There's Ferris, and you see him a couple of times. You see him also as a different, monster. He's mutating as well. You see him in the game a little bit. Then you meet this woman, Dina, Asian chick. You see her a couple of times, few times. And that guy that helped you escape, Isaac. Isn't it interesting? No, Elias, not Isaac. Elias. I'm sorry, Elias, the guy who helped you escape. And the story is, honestly, I wasn't impressed with the story. I'll just be honest. I expected more from the story. But that's not the worst part. I can overlook the story, fine, whatever. The biggest problem that people have in this game, it's a very boring mechanism of you dodging the attacks. In the game, usually you have a button where you press, like a square button, to roll left, to roll right, to dodge left, to dodge right. Here you have to use a left thumbstick to avoid the attacks, and it's really sluggish, it's really slow, and it's not ideal to fight the monsters this way. Also, when you're switching the weapons, you have to press the D-pad, right? And then you gotta go up and down to select what you want, and then you have to press on it, and then by you press on it, it takes a while to fix it. So by the time you do all of that, you're gonna be attacked by a bunch of monsters surrounding you. So there's that problem, so the combat is really not that great. Should have been better, to be honest with you. Then you have this other weapon, this melee weapon, which is good, but he's very slow with it. He's not really like super fast with it. And there's another problem, the sprinting. This is him sprinting. This is him sprinting. He's not really sprinting that fast. This is more like jogging, guys. This is jogging. This is not sprinting. This is jogging. This is not sprinting. He's jogging the whole time here. So this is disappointing as well. What else am I missing out? So the combat's not that great. The very disappointing. Combat, it's like super disappointing. The weapons in the game are okay. There's a 3D printer you can use to optimize your weapons, but the weapons are pretty standard. The upgrades on the weapons are okay. Nothing, I mean, God, I even can't believe that this is actually from the same creator who did a Dead Space. When you look at the Dead Space, and when you look at the amount of combinations you can do to upgrade your weapons, to upgrade your suit, to do different things, when you look at the story on the Dead Space, when you look at the different monsters and the bosses you have to fight in the Dead Space, and a cliffhanger ending, right? It almost makes you think, dude, how is it even possible? This is the same guy, Glenn Schofield. This is the same dude who actually created the Dead Space. Like, I'm thinking, like, how is this even possible, dude? And what else? The combat sucks. Like I said, the story that really is not that good. It's weak. And when it comes to bosses, there's only one boss. It's the twins. It's basically a big twin. I can show you the photo here. I'll show you. So this is the twin, and this is what you're gonna be fighting 4 times in a row. It's this twin, and they're very easy to kill. You just shoot their arms, and then you decapitate one of their heads, and then you keep shooting them and do essentially the same thing, and that's it. Pretty straightforward. There's other enemies, but they're all pretty easy to avoid their punches. You can pretty much avoid every single one of their punches. You just have to press left, right, thumbstick, left, right, up and down, and you can avoid their punches any single time. Pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy. The game is not that hard. Trust me, those creatures are not that scary. They're pretty straightforward. Nothing that you haven't seen before. Nothing original. Very easy to defeat. I'm sorry. Look, guys, I just want you to know that nobody was more excited about this game than me. Trust me, I was like super stoked about this game, and I really wanted this game to be successful, but unfortunately it fell short. It just didn't live up to the hype that they were hyping it for. Like I said, there's positives here. Positives are the graphics. The graphics looks amazing. The lighting in the game, the HDR, the sound, especially the sound in this game is just unbelievable. The graphics and the sound are really top notch. But it seems to me that they were mainly focused on those two elements, the graphics and the sound, and they've forgotten the main important aspect of the game, and that's the fun factor, the mechanics, the gameplay, the story is very important. The story, the characters, and the combat system, which should have been better. So how do I feel about this game? Once I finish it, I really don't see myself playing it again or replaying it again. Most likely, I'm gonna play the DLC next year, 2023. But other than that, I don't think I'll ever go back to this, because first of all, it's uninteresting, and it's you already know what to expect. Like when you play through it. This is a good rental, I would say. This game, it's a perfect weekend rental if you got nothing going on and you're bored during the weekend. Well, this is a great weekend rental. But I can't see myself blowing money on this, which I did because I made a promise that I would. And I'm one of those guys that doesn't talk out of my ass. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I said I was going to buy deluxe edition, and I did. I made that promise. That's just my principle, you know. If I say something, you can bet I'm going to deliver. I don't care if it's the end of the world, Armageddon outside, I care less. If Godzilla and Muto, they're fighting outside, I don't care. If I say I'm going to deliver, I'm going to deliver. So that's just my principle. So, well, there you have it, guys. This is the most uncut, honest opinion, subjective opinion, perspective, review of this game. I'm just disappointed, like everybody else out there. But I know there's people that like it, and there's people that don't. And that's okay. Listen, if you like this game, hey, that's awesome, bro. That's all that matters. As long as you're enjoying it, as long as you're having a good time, that is freaking awesome. I'm happy for you. But I'm somebody who is a huge fan of Dead Space. I played all 3 Dead Space. I know the story in my head perfectly, and I'm a fan of Dead Space. And I can tell you that this can't even hold a glass of water to Dead Space. And I know you haven't played the game, so you're saying, how could you say this? I could say this because I put 22 hours into this game. 22 plus hours into this game. That's how I can say. And I know the difference between this and the Dead Space. Okay. So what do I do with this game? Like, where do I put this game out there? For whom is this game? I really don't know. Glenn says that he wants to scare the hell out of you with this game. He didn't scare me. He grossed me out. This game is very gory. If you have a fetish for gore, to see some, you know, mutilation of a human skull, mutilation of limbs and all that shit, if you're into that kind of sick shit, maybe this is for you. But it's not my fetish. That's not my thing. And thank God that it's not. So he didn't scare me. Alien Isolation scared the fuck out of me. When you hear that xenomorph footsteps, boom, 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 and he's chasing you down. Alien Isolation, guys. You want the scary game? Go play Alien Isolation. Put on the headphones. Play it at night. Now that's scary. That's scary. This is not. This really didn't scare me. Honestly, it didn't do nothing. Really. I'm sorry, Glenn. Maybe you should have taken some notes from Alien Isolation. Maybe you should have looked into that. And I'll just leave it at that. This video has been pretty long. It's 23 minutes, so I hope that this gives you some answers about Callisto Protocol. So there you have it. Love it, hate it. It is what it is.